Put $100 into a normal index fund, 8% a year. Wait 30 years. You'd have about $1,000. Not bad. Now put the same $100 with this man, and 30 years later, it would have become almost $400 million. His name was Jim Simons, a mathematician who never took a single class in finance and still became the greatest trader of all time. And the way he did it broke every rule Wall Street believed in. Simons was never normal. MIT at 20, a PhD in geometry at 23. He rode a motor scooter across the country, smoked his way through every meeting, and refused to wear socks, even at his own galas. In the 1960s, in the middle of the Cold War, he had a secret job. He cracked codes for the IDA, a U.S. defense think tank working for the NSA, decrypting intercepted Soviet messages before anyone noticed. He was brilliant at it. But then he picked a fight with the wrong people. His own boss, General Maxwell Taylor, wrote in the New York Times that America had to keep fighting the Vietnam War. Simons publicly wrote against it, and he told Newsweek he would not touch another defense project until the war was over. Soon after, he was fired. At 30, freshly fired, he took over the math department at Stony Brook and turned it into one of the best in the country. His formulas are still used in physics today. He had everything, and in 1978, he left it all behind. For one crazy idea. Simons was convinced the market is not random. Hidden in the chaos were tiny patterns, signals that repeat, and pure mathematics could find them. So he built Renaissance Technologies and did the unthinkable. He did not hire a single economist, banker, or MBA. Not one. Instead, codebreakers, astrophysicists, speech recognition geniuses from IBM, people who heard the signal in the noise. But how? Simons was not looking for good stocks. He treated the market like a secret code, and his computer searched only for tiny patterns that repeat. Imagine a coin that is slightly rigged. In 100 flips, it comes up heads 51 times. On a single flip, you would notice nothing. But flip it 1,000,000 times, and you win, with certainty. That is exactly what Simons did. Every single trade was almost a coin flip, only a hair better. But he made millions of them. He was not the gambler in the casino. He was the casino. Then came the Medallion Fund, and the numbers stopped making sense. From 1988 to 2018, 66% a year, before fees. Every single year for 3 decades. Nothing in history comes close. In 2008, when markets crashed 38%, Medallion rose 98%. They got so rich they kicked out their own investors, and since 1993 have traded almost only their employees' money. But here is the part nobody tells you. The very method they used to make that money would come back to haunt them. The problem was their tax trick. Medallion made its money with lightning-fast trades, some held only seconds, and short-term gains are taxed hard in the U.S., nearly 40%. So they built a detour. Instead of trading the stocks themselves, they bought so-called basket options from Deutsche Bank and Barclays. On paper, the bank owned the stocks. Renaissance held just a single option, supposedly for over a year. The trick? Short-term gains turned into long-term gains, taxed at half the rate. Over a decade, they saved billions. The tax authority called it an illegal sham. In 2021, Simons and his partners paid back around $7 billion, one of the largest tax settlements in U.S. history. And his right-hand man, Robert Mercer, became one of the most controversial figures in U.S. politics. Mercer poured his fortune into Breitbart, a far-right news site and mouthpiece of the Trump movement, and into Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge Analytica secretly harvested the Facebook data of around 87 million people to target voters in the 2016 Trump campaign. The scandal broke in 2018, the company collapsed, and Mercer had to leave Renaissance back in 2017. Behind the billions, Simons paid a bitter price. He lost 2 sons, one in a cycling accident, one drowned at 24. He spent the rest of his life giving his fortune away, billions to mathematics, to science, to curing disease. The man who solved the market was no financier. He was a mathematician who refused to believe the world was random. When he died in 2024, he was worth $31 billion and left behind a secret that Wall Street still cannot crack.